Hey guys, Reversal here, welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Go, and today we got more ideas to be added to Pokemon Go. These are just ideas that I came up with that I want to share with you guys, and I hope that you guys will enjoy them. And of course, if you guys got any ideas for yourself, be sure you write them in the comment section down below, that way we can go over them. And I think episode number 4 in this series will be your suggestions. So if you got a really great idea for an update or a change in feature, it might be quality of life or a brand new feature, make sure you share it in the comment section down below. Uniqueness will be awarded, creativity will be awarded, and I'll be sure to feature those comments in the next video. So with that being said, let's jump straight in. Update idea video number 3. So in the first one, I actually want to be talking about player profiles. So I think it would be really cool that whenever trading comes out, you should be able to trade at a Pokestop. I think that is number 1 thing. And once that is happening, I feel you should be able to see the trainer's profile. It actually goes hand in hand with an extended player profile. So let's say if you got your player profile over here, I feel you should be able to see more stuff than just this. I feel you should be able to actually get some data. How many Pokeballs have you thrown? How many catches have you done? How many greats did you throw? How many excellents did you throw? How many times did you use the curveball? How many raspberries have you thrown? And I think it would be really cool to kind of see everybody's stats, especially of your friends. So it would be kind of cool to, you know, come together at a Pokestop whenever training actually gets added inside of the game. So I think that's pretty cool. I think another idea would be to add more storage space whenever Generation 2 comes out, according to the amount of Pokemons you're going to be getting inside of Pokemon Go. I feel this is very common idea that's get heard everywhere, but it makes sense, so that's why so many people can actually come up with this one. So it's not really unique, but the next idea is really unique, and I haven't heard it anywhere else. I wish there was a quest system for your team, like a community quest. And allow me to explain this one, because this one's actually pretty big, right? Now, what I want to see is some teamwork in Pokemon Go. I feel it's still too much of a solo type of game. But to give it some perspective, I wish, like, on a weekly basis, there was an event. You can call it an event or a community quest, where your entire team is involved in this, maybe in your country or your city, or maybe even on the globe. And it would come down to the amount of Pokemons we all catch together, the amount of Pokestops that we're spinning together, the amount of battles that we have won, the amount of Pokemon that have been faded inside of battles, the amount of prestige that we're currently owning. I think it would be an amazing system to have a community quest idea, something like that. And at the event time, whenever the time is over, everybody in the team should be getting a reward. And the reward can be something very small, obviously, like maybe some extra Stardust, or maybe some candy, or maybe like 100 Pokecoins. It's gonna help a lot of people out there. And then maybe if you're in the top 1% of attackers or something like that, that's kind of tricky. But if you were to be doing something like that, then it would be kind of cool to give you maybe like an additional reward. I think something like that would actually encourage people to get more active inside of the game. Like, let's say if your Team Valor friend is kind of inactive and you're like, oh dude, we're almost at the community goal, let's go together and actually hit rank number 1. I think that'd be amazing, honestly. So far what we've seen in Pokemon Go is that whenever you're trying to catch a Pokemon, all of the Pokemon that you're catching is giving the exact same thing, with the exception of if you catch the 100th of the same species, it's going to give you 100 experience as a bonus, or whenever it's a new entry inside of your Pokedex. In that particular scenario, it's going to give you 500 experience. Now, something that I would love to see is that whenever you're facing a evolved form of that Pokemon, it should give you more candy and more Stardust as a result. And the reason why I'm saying that is because automatically catching a evolved Pokemon, it is tougher than before. So honestly, I wish for like first form evolutions that don't have a final form, give them 150 Stardust. If it's a third form Pokemon, like let's say if you catch a Dragonite, give it like 200 Stardust or 300 Stardust and like 9 candy or maybe even 7 candy, something along those lines. I really think it would be cool, and I think it would be interesting to see that as well. And I think it would be more interesting to start catching Kakunas or even Golbat or Pidgeotto, because a lot of people seem to be ignoring these Pokemon because those are the annoying kind of Pokemon. But if there is some certain incentive for catching those Pokemon, people are definitely going to be more likely to actually try and go catch those Pokemon. So next idea has also got to do with catching and so on and so forth, catching and just catching Pokemon together. Now, one thing that I wish is that a great throw, or a nice throw, or a excellent throw would actually give you more Stardust, or yeah, more Stardust. According to, well, not necessarily your experience, but if you get a nice throw, let's say you get 150 experience. If you get a great throw, get like 200 Stardust. Not experience, Stardust. I was talking about Stardust. So nice throw, 150 Stardust. Great throw, 200 Stardust. Excellent throw, 300 Stardust. I think that would actually solve a major issue that we're having with collecting Stardust within Pokemon Go, and it would be nicer to actually power up your Pokemon whenever it is something like this. It also gives people more of an incentive to actually go for the excellent shot, so maybe you want to be increasing the Stardust of an excellent throw to 400 or maybe even 500 to make people really go for that. But in other way, it's kind of a nice idea. I feel Stardust is a big issue, and this would definitely solve that issue. So one thing we are still missing in the greater part of the world is the enhanced tracker, but I already got an idea of a enhancement to the tracker, and that is in your area. It would be kind of cool to see that you have a separate menu where you can tap on, like maybe next to sightings, where you can tap on it and it would show Pokemon that appear very likely in this area, and it would display like the top 10 Pokemon or maybe the top 6 or something like that in these areas. And they could be common Pokemon, but they could be a little bit rarer Pokemon as well. So don't display the Caterpies, the Weedles, the Pidgeys, but display the more uncommon type of Pokemon that people would be interested in, or maybe even showcase all the regular Pokemon that spawn in a regular consistent way, so that way people know exactly where they kind of need to go, and it would make the tracker a little bit better. And also kind of area-wise, because that's actually the case in the Pokédex. If you found a Pokemon in the Pokemon series, you'd be able to kind of figure out exactly where that Pokemon would be spawning, and you'll be able to actually go there. So I think that would be a nice change to Pokemon Go as well. So I think Niantic also knows that Pokéstops can play a significant role when it comes down to Pokemon Go. Especially because they already mentioned that they want to be adding more features to the Pokéstop into the future. Now, one thing that I really would like to see, and would also be testing out a new feature in Pokemon Go, is trading. And trading, more specifically, set a couple of NPCs, like one in every 50 Pokestops would be an NPC that has a Pokemon, would be asking for a different Pokemon, and you would actually make the switch, the change, and the Pokemon that you would be getting would be 100% completely random, and that is for every single player out there, pretty much like an egg hatching. And I think that is very interesting, because that way it would actually allow you to save up, or at least it would make you save up more Pokemon in your actual catalog or your storage, and you might be getting a completely random Pokemon in return. And I think that would be kind of a cool feature to actually test out trading. I think it would give Niantic a really great feel whether or not this is the way they want to be going with trading. And then overall, it's gonna make the game more interactive once again. So one thing I absolutely love doing in Pokemon Go is to power up a Pokemon. And I honestly wish you could power up a Pokemon to a specific level and actually select it, the amount of levels that you want to power up the Pokemon for. And it would actually do it as you press OK. You would be able to see exactly how much candy you would be spending and how much starters you would be spending. But you don't really get to see what the CP of the Pokemon is going to be. I think there should be some sort of element of surprise in there. Look at my Executor being all badass. Yeah, I think that would be a really great idea, especially for Pokemon you don't really want to power up that much, but you still kind of want to, you know, invest some starters in there. So if you know exactly how much starters you would end up losing if you do mass power up, then people would actually be able to take that into consideration as well. So one issue that I'm having with Pokemon Go is whenever nests are changing. Of course, it is very much apparent to people out there, if they're keeping an eye on their spawn points and locations, whenever a nest is going to be changing inside of Pokemon Go. What I would really like to see is like a pop-up notification, just as whenever a new update is there, to whenever a nest is whenever every single nest is going to be migrating to something else. And it could be in the aspect of a weather report, like there's a major nest change in all of the Pokemons, and give it some lore, give it some story to it, to a large flock of Pokemon has shifted to south or something like that, or something along those lines. That would actually allow Niantic to give more of a real type of feel, because that would actually make a lot of sense. And I think it would be kind of nice to know exactly whenever you can expect Pokemon to change, because I know for a fact that if there's a hot spot, let's say Green Park in London, and it's known for having a lot of Charmanders in there. In a very recent nest migration, all of those Charmanders changed into Seal. And I know for a fact that a lot of people actually go to Green Park specifically to get all of those Charmanders, and then seeing them change into a Seal could be pretty sad. So it would be really nice to actually get a message, Nest has changed, and that way we know what's going on exactly. And then also, to kind of add on to that idea, also the idea that real weather reports would be playing a role alongside this as well. So if it's very windy in your area, make sure that Pokemon Go in some way, shape or form, or the servers are connected to the weather, so that way they know exactly what's currently going on. So if there's a lot of wind out there, maybe some people are gonna be maybe some Pokemon are gonna be running away. Maybe if it's raining out there, maybe some other species will be appearing more often. Make it more realistic to that aspect, because I think that would be a lot of fun. And people would actually have that real augmented reality kind of feel whenever it comes down to Pokemon Go. Because in the end of the day, Niantic wants this to be an interactive experience, and I feel weather should be playing a role with this interactive experience. So yeah, those are my update ideas. Once again, there were a whole bunch of update ideas that I randomly dropped in as well, and that happened during every single video out there, but I really hope that you guys enjoyed this. As always, be sure to open your thoughts or share your thoughts in the comment section down below. Which idea in particular that I shared with you guys did you really like? Which ones did you not like? Do you have any ideas of your own? And be sure to discuss them in the comment section down below, and they might get featured on episode number 4 of Pokemon Go update ideas. With that in mind, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. If you want more update idea videos, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. And this has been Reverse for Pokemon Go. I'm gonna be signing off, and I'll see you guys in the next one.